There is a moment in your awakening when the universe stops feeling like something you are observing and begins to feel like something you are building with. The signs do not simply reflect your state anymore. They begin to interact with it. They move with you, adjust to you, respond to you with a precision that no longer feels like coincidence or recognition. It feels like collaboration, and the number that marks this shift more clearly than any other is 333. You do not stumble upon it by accident. It arrives at the exact stage where your consciousness is steady enough to not only recognize resonance, but to participate in it. 333 is the frequency of triadic alignment, the moment when your intention, your emotion, and your action begin to operate as one. It is a higher octave than the alignment of 111 and the harmony of 2 and 22. It carries the tone of creation, expansion, and active participation in shaping your reality. You see 333 when your awareness is no longer content with simply waking up. It wants to build, it wants to shape, it wants to co-create with the spiral, rather than stand at a distance trying to interpret its signs. The universe responds by shifting from mirror to partner, and the repetition of 333 announces this shift. The Triad is one of the most ancient structures of consciousness. It represents the three forces required for any creation to emerge: the initiating force, the receptive force, and the balancing force. In human terms, these correspond to your intention, your emotional state, and your willingness to act. Most people live with these forces in conflict. They desire one thing but feel another. They make choices that contradict their deeper truth. They hold visions that their actions do not support. This fragmentation creates static in the field, and static cannot co-create. When 333 appears, it means this fragmentation is dissolving. It means your inner forces have begun to unify into a single broadcast. Not the superficial manifestation ideas that circulate widely, but the real creative phase where your consciousness learns how to wield intention without distortion, emotion without confusion, and action without fear. It is the moment when your internal trinity begins working in harmony rather than opposition. Your thoughts no longer undermine your feelings. Your feelings no longer sabotage your actions. Your actions no longer betray your deeper knowing. As you deepen in awareness, you begin to see that creation is not a future event. Creation is the way your energy shapes possibility in every moment. Every thought is a direction. Every feeling is a frequency. Every action is a signal. When these three move together, the field responds instantly. 333 appears when you are finally ready to step into this level of responsibility and power. It is a sign that the universe has recognized your readiness to engage rather than observe. This number becomes especially powerful when it appears during times of decision. Not outward decisions, but the internal ones you make quietly. In the space between breaths, when you decide what you will no longer tolerate in yourself. When you choose what you will no longer abandon. When you accept the truth you have been resisting. These micro-decisions carry enormous creative weight, and 333 appears in the moments when your inner alignment becomes strong enough to influence your outer reality. It appears when your consciousness crosses from wishful thinking into intentional creation. People often misunderstand 333 as a number of external guidance, but the deeper truth is that 333 marks the moment when guidance moves from external to internal. It is not the universe telling you what to do. It is the universe confirming that you have reached the stage where you can hear your own intelligence clearly. When this alignment occurs, creation becomes less about asking and more about listening, less about hoping and more about allowing, less about controlling and more about collaborating. 333 also carries the tone of expansion. It appears when your life is ready to grow beyond its current shape, not through collapse but through creation. You may feel ideas rising more quickly, inspiration arriving in waves, or a sudden desire to build something meaningful. You may find yourself drawn toward new paths, new expressions, or new roles that feel radically different from your past ones. This is not distraction. This is emergence. When 333 appears, it is because your consciousness is preparing to step into a larger version of itself. The presence of 333 can also signal the resolution of internal conflict. Many people carry silent battles within themselves for years, wrestling with desires they don't feel worthy of, or visions they don't believe they can embody. When 333 shows itself repeatedly, it means these battles are losing their power. It means the parts of you that once contradicted each other are beginning to unify. It means you are ready to create from wholeness rather than fragmentation. This alignment is what allows the triadic field of 333 to activate. This number is deeply connected to timing, not the passive timing of waiting, but the active timing of alignment. You begin to sense when to move and when to pause, when to speak and when to listen, when to build and when to rest. Your timing becomes less about opportunity and more about resonance. You stop forcing your life into shapes it has outgrown. You stop delaying truths that are ready to be lived. You begin to feel the exact moment when creation is natural rather than forced. 333 appears to mark these moments, not to guide you but to confirm you. 333 is also a sign that your energy is becoming generative. A generative field does not simply react to the world. It shapes it. It influences the emotional tone of spaces, the quality of interactions, the direction of unfolding events. You become someone who carries coherence into environments that lack it. You become someone who sparks clarity in others without trying. You become someone whose presence begins to shift the field around them. This is the beginning of co-creation, and 333 reflects this shift with precision. The presence of 333 is not a promise of ease. It is a recognition of readiness. Co-creation requires responsibility. It requires honesty about your motives, clarity about your intentions, and integrity in your actions. It requires a willingness to release what no longer resonates, even if it once felt safe. It requires the courage to expand into your own potential without waiting for permission. 333 appears when you are ready to meet this responsibility with openness rather than fear. 333 is not a reward. It is an invitation. The deeper truth of 333 is that it appears in the exact phase where a soul stops looking for signs that something will happen and begins creating conditions that make it inevitable. This number marks the moment when you cease waiting for permission from the outside world. You stop begging for validation from circumstances. You release the illusion that your destiny is something the universe hands you. Instead, you recognize that your destiny is something you co-shape through the alignment of your internal forces. 333 does not announce that the universe is about to act. It announces that you are about to act, and that your action is finally rooted in a stable inner foundation. The triad represented by 333 is a living structure that governs all transformation. It is the architecture of becoming. Every creation passes through the same triadic progression. The vision that initiates, the feeling that nourishes, and the action that anchors. When any of these are missing, creation collapses. When all three move together, creation unfolds with a clarity that feels inevitable. You begin to notice that the universe stops resisting you not because circumstances changed, but because your own frequency stopped contradicting itself. You are no longer scattering your intention across conflicting desires. You are no longer sabotaging your own momentum with doubt that masquerades as caution. You are no longer shrinking your vision to protect yourself from imagined failure. You are finally aligned enough to let creation flow through you. 333 appears strongly when you are entering a phase where your ideas carry more charge. You may notice that small inspirations ignite into larger visions with little effort. You may find yourself drawn toward projects or expressions that once felt too large for you. You may feel a sense of destiny rising beneath your everyday thoughts, a quiet pressure that pushes you toward your next becoming. It is a sign that your consciousness is becoming capable of holding larger possibilities without collapsing under the weight of them. The number does not inflate your potential. It reflects the magnitude of potential you have finally become stable enough to access. This number also reveals a crucial truth about creation. Creation is relational. Nothing is created in isolation. Every intention interacts with the field. Every choice rearranges the potential pathways around you. When 333 appears, it means your energy is becoming synergistic. It is beginning to collaborate naturally with the environment rather than fight against it. You start experiencing what many call flow, not as a momentary high, but as a sustained state. You find yourself at the right place at the right time, not through luck, but through resonance. Circumstances begin aligning with a rhythm that matches your internal one. You no longer strain to push life forward. You move with it. You follow the momentum your own coherence generates. 33 often appears when you are stepping into roles or expressions that will require a new level of responsibility. Not responsibility in the burdensome sense, but responsibility in the sense of being accountable for your own power. Many people fear their own creative potential more than they fear failure, because true creation demands that you can no longer blame the outside world for your stagnation. When 333 repeats, it means this fear is dissolving. It means you are ready to stop hiding behind the comfort of limitation. It means you are ready to steward your own capability with integrity. The presence of 333 also brings your attention to the way you speak about your future. Words shape energy. When your language becomes aligned with your intention, it becomes a creative force rather than a release valve for doubt. You stop speaking patterns that contradict the life you are building. You stop diminishing your vision to seem realistic. You stop projecting failure into your future. When your speech becomes aligned with your emotional tone and your inner direction, the triad locks into place, and 333 mirrors this lock with precision. You may also notice that 333 appears at moments where your old identities are dissolving. Identity is not a static concept. It shifts and reforms as your consciousness evolves. Many people cling to outdated identities because they cannot imagine who they would be without them. But when 333 shows up repeatedly, it means the version of you that once carried your life forward is no longer the version that can sustain your next phase. You feel yourself stretching beyond the boundaries of your former self. You sense the emergence of a new identity that is more aligned with your deeper purpose. This transition may feel exhilarating or disorienting, but 333 appears to stabilize the process. It affirms that the expansion you are experiencing is not a mistake. It is a natural evolution. The triad of 333 also influences your relationship with timing. You begin to understand that timing is not something imposed on you by fate. Timing is something you create by aligning your internal rhythm with the opportunities that already exist. When you are out of alignment, you arrive too early or too late. You move from fear instead of clarity. You react instead of responding. But when your triadic forces are synchronized, your actions naturally coincide with the right moments. You meet people exactly when the connection is meaningful. You encounter resources at the moment you are ready for them. You step into opportunities that once eluded you. You are not adjusting to life. Life is adjusting to you. 333 is also a sign that your intuition is becoming sharper. Intuition thrives in triadic balance. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, intuition becomes louder than doubt. It becomes more precise than logic. It becomes the primary navigational tool for your becoming. You stop second-guessing your inner knowing. You stop dismissing your nudges as imagination. You begin trusting the direction that arises from within, even when you cannot yet see the full map. 333 appears to confirm that this trust is warranted. This number often arrives at the threshold of creative expansion. You may feel called to build something that carries your unique resonance into the world. This may be a project, a message, a creation, a new path, or a new version of yourself. Whatever form it takes, it emerges from the triadic structure that 333 activates within you. You are no longer creating from scarcity or survival. You are creating from coherence. You are creating from a state where your energy is strong enough to imprint itself onto reality. The deeper truth is that 333 is not only about creation, it is about co-creation, with the intelligence that underlies the spiral. You are not creating alone. You are creating with the same field that guides synchronicity, the same field that shapes opportunity, the same field that speaks through numbers, intuition, and resonance. When 333 repeats, it means the field is responding to you as a collaborator, rather than as a mirror. It means your consciousness has reached a level where your intention influences the pathways ahead. Eventually, as with all signs, 333 becomes internalized. It no longer needs to appear externally, because the triadic balance has become a stable part of your awareness. You no longer require confirmation that you are aligned. You can feel it. You can sense when your intention, emotion, and action are unified. You can sense when they are not. 333 becomes an internal compass rather than an external sign. It remains available when you drift, but it no longer needs to shout to be heard. The meaning of 333 is simple and profound. You are no longer awakening. You are creating. And you are no longer creating alone. You are co-creating with the spiral itself. This is the triad code of co-creation awakened within you.